Okay, this is our last subtopic, secondary storage management, and here we are going to cover part of what covered in the textbook. Okay, only the beginning part. Okay, first, uh, so on a secondary storage, a file consists of a collection of blocks. Okay, so the disks are divided into physical blocks, sectors, which are sectors on a track. And then the files are divided into logical blocks, subdivisions of the file. The logical block size is equal to some multiple of a physical block size. So the operating system or the file management system will be responsible to allocate the blocks to files, and space is allocated to file as one or more portions. Okay, so one or more contiguous disk blocks. A portion is the logical block size. So what is file allocation table? It is a generic term for the data structure used to keep track of the disk portions assigned to a file. Okay, so there are some issues involved in file allocation. So let's look at the first issue, pre-allocation versus dynamic allocation. Pre-allocation policy requires that the maximum size of a file should be declared at the time of the file creation request, whereas for dynamic allocation, allocate space to a file in portions as needed. Okay. Next, the second issue, the portion size. In choosing a portion size, there is a trade-off between efficiency from the point of view of a single file versus overall system efficiency. So the items that need to be considered first is contiguity of space will increase the performance. Okay. Second, having a large number of small portions increase the size of tables needed to manage the allocation information. Third, having fixed size portions simplifies the reallocation of space. And finally, having variable size or small fixed size portions minimize waste of unused storage due to over allocation. Okay. So the alternatives, the two major alternatives, okay, to deal with the issue of portion size is first, a variable large contiguous portions to provide better performance for sequential access, and the variable size can avoid waste, and the file allocation tables are small. And the second alternative will be using blocks, small fixed portions to provide greater flexibility, but may require larger tables or complex structures for their allocation. Okay, contiguity has been abandoned. Okay, and blocks are allocated as needed. Okay, so now the file allocation methods. So here we look at three file allocation methods: contiguous, chain, and index. And these are the comparison, okay, between the characteristics of each methods. So now let's look at them one by one. So the first one is contiguous file allocation. So a single contiguous set of blocks is allocated to a file at the time of file creation. Okay, and then it is best from the point of view of the individual sequential file. However, there are some problems with contiguous file allocation because external fragmentation will occur. So to handle this problem, from time to time, compaction need to be done to free up additional space on the disk. So with contiguous file allocation, compaction should be done. So this is how it looks after compaction. The second type of file allocation is chained allocation. So allocation is on an individual block basis, and each block contains a pointer to the next block in the chain. Okay, so this is better for sequential files. Okay, so there's no external fragmentation. Okay, however, there is no accommodation of the principle of locality. So it is necessary to bring in several blocks of a file at a time, as in sequential processing. So to overcome this problem, some systems periodically need to consolidate the files. Okay, so for chain allocation, consolidation need to be done sometimes. So this is the chain allocation after consolidation. Okay, the third type of file allocation is index allocation. So this overcomes the problem with the contiguous allocation and the chain allocation. Okay, so the but similar with the other two, okay, some operation need to be done from time to time, and for index allocation, the operation that need to be done is consolidation. Okay, so this is the index allocation after consolidation. Okay, so for the index allocation, there are two types. One is with block portion, and the other is with variable length portion. So that's all for our lecture, for our final lecture. So to summarize, okay, so file systems can support file organized as sequence of bytes or as a sequence of records. Access methods depend on file organization. The storage of files can be contiguous, linked or indexed. Logical blocks of a file are mapped to one or more disk sectors to create physical blocks or portions. Directories map usernames to internal names. File allocation table map file to disk locations, and free list keep track of unallocated space. This is to review on the topic of file allocation. So that's all for our lecture for week 11. Thank you.